In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Personal Archivist crop and align tools to quickly make a collage from a grouping of photos. Let's start a new project, and let's make it an 8x10 so that it could be printed if you wanted to, and it'll be a vertical orientation. Now what I'll do is import a block of images. I just happen to have a grouping of them here that we'll use. So there, now they're in Personal Archivist. Now what are we going to do with them? Well, first let's scatter them around a little bit and see what we have. I think the first thing I'd like to do is pick out what I'm going to have as be the top focus one. And from what I see here, I think I'm going to use the one where this young lady was graduating from high school. So the first thing I'm going to do is set it about the size I want it to be and move it in place. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is decide what goes on sides of it. Something like this, perhaps. Those two would be good. They're not the same orientation as this picture, and this is where the magic of cropping comes in. First off, this one has a pretty good amount of background to it that we maybe don't want to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this photo and I'm going to say I want it to be set this as the crop ratio. Now that means when I crop these other photos, they're going to crop to the exact same ratio as that picture. So I'll go in here and tell this one that I want to do a crop using the crop ratio, and I'm going to set that crop ratio or that crop rectangle right about like that. And when I do the crop, now this picture has the same ratio as that. That is the relative dimension of the vertical to the horizontal is the same for both of these. They're not the same size yet, but that's easily remedied. I'm just going to simply now tell it that I want to match the width or the height, it doesn't matter, and we'll put it up there. Now I'm going to go over here and do the same with this one. I'm going to crop it using that crop ratio that's still set, and we'll pick about like so on that one, and we'll do the crop. And again, I'll tell it I want to match. In this case, I'll just tell it I want to match the height. We'll scoot it over here about where it belongs and tell it I want to align it to the top. Okay, so now this one maybe has to come over here just a bit to be more centered, and whatever the top was, we'll put it back there. Okay, so there. Now those three are done. Now what are we going to do next? Well, let's go somewhere in the middle here. I think what I'm going to do is save this one and this one for later, and I'm going to move this one up here and open it up, about that size, let's say, something like that. That'll be pretty good. It's not quite to the center, which is what I want. And this one now is going to have to be alongside of it. So I'm going to set the crop ratio to be whatever that one was. Go over here now and crop this picture. I'll do a crop using the crop ratio. Do the crop about something like that. We do the crop, we move it over here so it relatively lines up where we want and on the right side, and I'll tell it now to align to the top, and there, now that one's in place. Now we'll take the last one we got here. We'll make it be the guide for the top for the crop ratio. And this one here, I'm going to say, well, okay, let's set the crop ratio to that. And on this one, I'm going to do a crop using that crop ratio. And we'll cut out off of this picture like so. And we'll do the crop on that and tell it I want to match that to the height that we had before on the previous. And we'll stick it over here. I got to get this one out of here first though. And we'll stick this over here and then tell it I want to match it to the top. So I'll align the top, and there we have that. Now we've got these two smaller pictures left. First thing I do is I think I'm going to expand this one out. Then I'm going to set it as the crop ratio. So I'll set it as the crop ratio. I'll go back up here now and we'll blow this up so we can see a little bit better what we're doing. But I'll use the crop ratio. I'll crop this image as well. And let's say we set it like that. And I want it to match the width of the previous. Also don't want to drop its opacity quite like that. And we'll set it so that it matches this on height. So it will align to the top of that, but I also needed to align to the left of this one. And there, just like that, we're done. So you can see now that that was a relatively quick and simple, easy way to match these photos up, put them in a nice grid pattern for a collage, and match all the sizes and match the alignments very, very quickly.